Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel for another sketchbook session. So I'm back here in my render sketchbook, playing around with my markers again. That word I cannot say very well. And I'm just working on this little rock formation landscape using a reference from my Pinterest, which if you guys would like me to share my Pinterest, drop a comment and let me know. I really went into the sketch with no particular plan. I just wanted to play without worrying about making something perfect, which leads me into the sort of topic I want to talk about, which is learning to make a mess in your sketchbook. I in no way think that this is the most amazing sketch I've ever made, but I wanted to show it to you guys regardless because I feel there is a big tendency, especially for young artists getting started out on the internet, to get really caught up in the idea that you have to have some beautifully rendered sketchbook where every page is a 10 out of 10 banger. That is a really unrealistic expectation to place on yourself, especially when you're right at the start of your journey. And again, it leads into kind of that issue of the comparison syndrome sort of thing, which is something we all need to stay away from as much as possible. But does that mean that you should not care about your sketchbook at all? No. I personally think it's important to have a nice middle ground, either by having separate sketchbooks for different things. For example, one sketchbook just to doodle and hash out concepts and practice, mainly there for when you need to really be doing that heavy drawing repetition, which is a huge part of how you go about improving, is by drawing the same thing over and over again until you get it right, kind of thing. There's more to it than that, but that's a topic for a different video. You could have another sketchbook that is for those Instagram worthy spreads that you want to do. Or conversely, you can just lump it all into one sketchbook. The point is to just play, let loose, and really let the passion guide you to what it is you want to do. I'm personally a sketchbook hoarder and have absolutely way too many. So I make a point of trying to put kind of a theme to some of my sketchbooks, but I'm also someone who really wants to fill and complete my sketchbooks as much as possible. So needless to say, I do tend to jump around a lot from different ideas and subjects. I just want to draw everything. And I was very much instilled through my university with the importance of daily drawing, which I can definitely talk about more in a different video in the future if you guys want. I just want this to be kind of a nice reminder for all of you out there who need it to not always take your sketchbook so seriously. It should never be something that stresses you out or you feel any conflict in sharing or working in. In fact, you never have to share your sketchbook if you don't want to. I personally do not share my doodle dump sketchbooks, as I call them, because this is where I put down a lot of my early rough ideas and concepts. And I generally don't want to share those until I have a complete piece, kind of like, the completed process of it. It's just a very personal thing to me, kind of like a diary. Also, another big point, make sure you choose sketchbooks that work for you, not against you. So consider if you are someone who works just in pencils or watercolor, or you draw very large or you draw very small. Now, you do want to push yourself out of your comfort zone every now and again, and you can certainly do that by choosing a difficult sketchbook for you, something that you normally don't work with. But if the material doesn't speak to you, don't waste your time on it. Because say you tend to draw small and on a whim, without the intention of challenging yourself, you buy a huge sketchbook. You are probably not going to be very motivated to work in it, and it will just kind of sit there menacingly. Or if you're someone who really likes texture paper, obviously don't go and buy a smooth paper sketchbook. If you like to rip pages out of your sketchbook, probably don't buy a hardbound sketchbook. pick and purchase what's going to motivate you to work in your sketchbook, especially if you're trying to go after, a daily challenge or just daily practice and overall. Tend on the side of making it easier for yourself through your materials rather than harder if you are still very much learning your foundations and you're doing all of that practice. You want something that you really want to, grab and have all the time, which is another thing I highly recommend for anybody who is trying to work on their art is have a travel sketchbook with you. Or again, it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a small one. It's just whatever sketchbook that you feel the most comfortable traveling with, putting in your bag, carrying with you, and also select, a couple different easy art supplies that you can carry with you, whether that's, again, just a plain, mechanical pencil or, pens, or if you want to go more, full hog and you're somebody who really loves to paint, you can find a way. There are plenty of options on the internet for small watercolor like travel palettes or even oil paint, acrylics, take your pick, pastels. If there's a will, there's a way for you guys to do it for sure. And I definitely highly encourage that practice. But yeah, with that said, I think I will end it there for today, guys, on this little quick topic. Again, I just wanted to really remind you guys because I feel like it's something that I see a lot on the internet, and I think it's nice to just have somebody remind you that, hey, you don't need to stress out about this. Or especially if you're caught in that loop of comparison with somebody that you're following and you admire online and you're like, why can't my sketchbook look like that? And you're struggling with it and it's stressing you out. Again, that's hindering you more than it's pushing you towards success, because the point of a sketchbook overall is for it to be a learning tool. It is for a place for you to just hash out your ideas and play. So, please remember, if you would like to support me and my work, check out all of the links in the description. I currently have a Ko-fi shop where you can find prints, stickers, acrylic charms, as well as commissions. And if you are looking for something a little more spicy, come join me over on my Patreon, where you can find my uncensored 18 plus artwork and can even request me to draw something for you, potentially. Again, read the fine print on how that particular tier works. But with that said, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.